This is a serial ATA CardBus card. I had simply no idea that these even existed. I figured it could be kind of useful, mostly for my ThinkPad, but as you can see, this is a Windows 98 Compact Presario 1260. And apparently this supports Windows 98 2nd edition, so that's where I intend to try it. It has two SATA ports. They are extremely tight. Just fiddling around with it, I plugged a SATA cable into it, and it did take me a good 5 minutes to get it out, because I was trying to be careful and not break something. It is just a standard CardBus card, probably not PCMCIA, but this I do believe is a CardBus slot, because this must be a CardBus card that I've been using with it. Yeah, so that'll be fine. There's not a huge trove of information written on the card, just basically what it is, and the Part 15 compliance with model number and assembled in USA, so hey, that's kind of cool. Also came with it is a driver CD, which you would expect, and a short little manual, which just kind of goes over basic functions and setup. Nothing extremely involved, but it doesn't really need to be. And it came in this horribly sized box. Yeah, I'm going to have to back up the camera for you to even see it. Like, this box is completely ridiculously sized. I'll remind you, this is what was inside the box. And this is how big the box is. I have no idea why they chose this size. It's a total waste, but at least I have lots of foam that I can probably use for shipping something else. But on the box, it does tell us a little more, like how the hot swap is available only on Windows 2000 and XP, which, from what I understand about Windows 98 and SATA, that makes sense. It wouldn't surprise me if this works with higher operating systems like Windows Vista, and by extension, basically any later version of Windows, because that is basically still NT6, even though it's NT10 these days. It does claim 1200 megabits a second of data transfer. I kind of doubt that. Maybe between two SATA devices, but I don't think you can squeeze that much bandwidth through CardBus. It doesn't provide any provision to power your SATA hard drive, so you have to figure that out yourself. That was kind of why I was thinking maybe why the box was so big. Like maybe there was an AC adapter in there, but no. You just have to get your own power supply, which, I mean, that isn't a big deal, but minor inconvenience. Let's see, is there anything else? I'm not really sure why, but they tell you what SATA is. Let's see, compliant with SATA 1.0. Ooh, there goes the screensaver. Requires a Pentium 3 350 megahertz. I have no idea if they actually get that slow. And this is a AMD K6-2 desktop processor at 333 megahertz. It is definitely a desktop processor. I don't know why, but that's cool, I guess. 64 megabytes of RAM or above. Yeah, I've got that. OS, that was detailed on the front. And then a card. Oh wow, that's interesting. Apparently this will work in PCMCIA slots, which I feel like there's a rather small amount of computers that would offer PCMCIA but have a Pentium 3 in them. And a CD-ROM drive, which you could probably get by without it if you have another computer with it. Package contents, it just basically goes over what I told you was in it. Yes, probably copyrighted photography. Always good for YouTube videos. So I guess first we should start by installing the software, because Windows 98 generally is not happy when you do things the other way. Well, Windows 9X as a whole. So whether or not the CD will be able to read the disk is always a good question. It sounds like it is. Is autoplay going to do something? Does it have autoplay? I guess it doesn't have autoplay. Oh yeah, there it goes. Thought that was an unusually long time of working, but I'll get this thing resolved. Well, I kind of jiggled the lens around a little bit, and that does seem to have helped. I don't know what exactly has gotten into the CD drive, but it's never been exactly healthy, but it certainly has been better. I can tell that this is a CDR rather than a stamped CD-ROM, which is certainly not helping anything. But hopefully it will allow us to go through setup. As you can see that this disk appears to be for several different things. USB 2.0 driver. Okay, so apparently I'm just supposed to shove the card in there and then point it to the drivers, so we'll see how that works. Or doesn't. Well, wow, plug and play. More like plug and pray, but okay, so I'm supposed to point it, well, okay, I'm not supposed to do it that way. I'm supposed to do it this way. Head over to our, oh come on, finally it managed to spin up. Okay, D CardBus, okay, well D is not our optical drive. Alright, now let's hope this works. Okay, apparently it has gotten a driver, and this is actually a silicon image CardBus card, which if I remember correctly, silicon image made the so-called good SATA controllers as far as Windows 98 compatibility. Is it gonna work? Let's see, In the mystical depths of here, there is in fact a computer. I guess, I don't know, I guess it doesn't really work. Go ahead and steal one of its SATA cables. I think all of them should be free. Yeah, free. That's the, because this thing has its own SATA connections coming from the motherboard. So plug one into this drive. But here is the computer. We've been over it. It has restarted now. So we will go ahead and see what, if any, effect restarting had. Oh look, there is a new drive. So if I remember correctly, I may have formatted this with NTFS, which means under Windows 98 that we probably can't write to it. Yeah, it is NTFS. I don't remember which file system driver I used. I think there's one where you can kind of write stuff to it, and then one where you just can't. Alright, so we'll take Bliss here. Definitely the real Bliss. Paste it here. Oh! Now the real question is whether that stems from this drive being NTFS or what exactly the issue is. Okay, well, we've ascended to Windows XP on the ThinkPad T60. I didn't bother to unplug the drive because, as I've mentioned, that's kind of a pain. So we'll just plug it in and see what happens. Kind of thinking that maybe XP Service Pack 3 might already have drivers for this. If not, I can always go back and give it to it. Hey, look at that. I was just about to threaten it by putting the CD in the drive, and it found it. So, let's see if it picks up the hard drive. Considering one is in fact plugged in. It's also disk F. But unlike the other one, I expect I should be able to manipulate stuff here. Sure. Let's do some actual typing. And I suppose we can verify that that's saved. Yippee! Okay. So I suppose let's find a large file to try copying to it. Okay, so I'm copying over a saved YouTube video, which is approximately 400 megabytes in size, I think. Wow, that is pretty good speed. Okay, so I did not count how many seconds that is. However, it is a 427 megabyte file, so when I'm editing this, I'll probably put a nice big block of text telling you exactly how fast, well, averagely how fast it took. So I suppose one more thing we should take a look at is what happens when this card is ejected. So with ThinkPads, ejecting stuff has never been easier than pressing two buttons simultaneously and clicking several things. Okay, so we want to stop this. Did the hard drive just spin down? That's interesting. So we can go ahead and unplug this. No explosions, so I suppose that was a success. I just thought that they were cool. How about a live demonstration of how hard it is to unplug? Oh, that wasn't so bad. You see, my big mistake on the previous time was plugging this right angle connector into the card, which gets a million times harder to unplug. Like, because you can't, ow, my thumb. You can't grab it very well. Yeah, not as bad as last time. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave